Yeah, remote product jobs is like product doing product remotely is slightly more tricksy. And saying I say this as a remote product manager or product leader in a product. Um, the the thing about product, and so let me take a little bit of a segue. So one of the things that I believe most people get wrong about product when they're thinking about product is everyone thinks about product the thing. They think about the thing that they're building, or we need to ship this app, or we need to get this feature out, or we need to get that thing. And that's another way phrases like being output focused, not outcome focused. But for me, it's not even about outcomes. It's about the thing you need to focus on with product. And for product with a capital P, for me as a discipline, is more around product the way, not product the thing. We're not trying to just build this one thing and ship this one thing. We're trying to design an organization and a team and processes and structures that can continue to deliver great things. And so as you start, like, if you're quite junior in product, that distinction is quite hard to see. And often a lot of your CEOs, your managers, the expectation from the management layer is going to come down of like, oh, we just need to ship this thing. I've told you to ship this thing. You should ship this thing. But when you start reflecting a bit more on like, how do we make decisions as an organization? How do we have cross-functional teams helping in the design process? Do our developers speak to customers to really understand the problem so they can design better solutions? How do we create feedback loops? How do we create better like information flows within the organization? And when you can start getting that stuff right, when you start focusing on product the way, shipping good things becomes a lot easier. And so I'm a huge advocate of product the way, not just product the thing. And so going to that, one of the hardest things about a remote role is often the easy things to focus on is product the thing. Let me dive in, look at the backlog, run my stand up, run my retros, run my sprint planning. You can kind of do the agile scrum dance, but that's not really helping the organization reflect on how they can continually empower their team to deliver better products in a repetitive way. So a lot of that comes down to building people, like working with people and building processes around people and making sure people are informed. So as a remote product manager, the thing that I would say you should lean into the most is the softer side of things. It's like, what are you missing by not being in the office? And you're missing little conversations. You're missing smaller chats. You're missing bonding, like building like meaningful relationships around with more than just the work with your coworkers. And so what you need to do is be quite intentional about building those bridges, building that way of communicating with your team and building those relationships beyond just the backlogs and the to-do lists and that sort of thing. And so as a remote product manager, you need to over-index on just these little coffee chats. Can we jump on a quick call for 15 minutes and let's have a chat? Instead of me sending that Slack message, actually having a video call. Let's jump on a Slack huddle and just hear each other talk through it as if I was walking up to you in your desk. We had a quick conversation and I walked away. Like you've got to find ways of trying to recreate those things that you're not getting in order to be able to build those relationships. And if you can do that effectively, then you can start influencing the way that the organization delivers product. And product the way is more difficult to do remotely. It's not impossible, but you totally need to be intentional about it. It's not something that just happens by the way of working, which just often when you're in the space with people and you have senior leaders and you have senior product people or you have others around you, you just kind of absorb that and you'll pick up those little conversations and you'll chat over lunch and you'll pick up that, oh, this one project's running late, that's going to affect this other project that I've got going. But you've got to find ways of building those informal information networks remotely. So that would be my top tip for remote product managers.